This headset's wigging me out a little bit.
So just get used to it. Embrace it.
Trying to. Do I lean in like this and talk?
You can.
Last time I was here, I saw a lot of saliva hitting this phone.
Coming out of your own.
Do y'all spray it off with like,
no, you're making out with Matt right now.
Yeah.
Definitely very un-COVID compliant.
Yeah, not COVID.
Hey, we got rid of our mask today.
I saw that.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, he extended it.
No.
What's going on, guys? My name's Tyler Flatto. I'm from Hattiesburg. You're listening to my single, Savannah. Hope you enjoy it. Jordan, Matthew, let's have a good show, baby. Come on, crawfish and beer.
If I were a betting man, I'd say she's headed south by now. Didn't even look twice when a white car passed my house. She said she's all done with me and my kind. That's how I know that I'm the farthest thing from her mind. But she's the first thing on my mind when I wake up. And it kills me deep down inside that you never gave a fuck. Now you're moving down to the deeper south, trying to restart. All the things you're trying to forget were my favorite parts. Oh, Savannah, why you gotta be so far? You know that I can't make it in this dirty beat up car. Oh, Savannah, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck here holding her, but I'm still loving you. How many times did you sit back just relaxing? Understand movements coming in, yeah, we got the packs in. I don't really wanna see no more traffic.
And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm Matthew Brooks.
And I'm Jordan Deron.
We're here with a couple nice guests, a couple repeats, a couple times, 2 times, what, 3 or 4 now?
I think something.
We got Mr. Mike Butler and Mr. Ivan Spinner on the podcast.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
What's up, buddy?
Good to be here, man. I appreciate the invitation back. It's good to be with Ivan.
Yeah, it's good to be with Mike. We appreciate you guys asking me back, and I'm very excited to be with Mike and all of his activity going on. It's this can be an exciting.
What kind of activity you got going on?
I haven't heard of any of this stuff.
We had soccer. We had a soccer game on Saturday. Tomorrow we got practice. There was a church event I was invited to, but I can't make it because of soccer practice. But, other than that, just maybe a crawfish bowl on Saturday.
Nice.
I got a birthday party to go to on Saturday, potentially.
All right, let me add, this is crawfish. Do you like it spicy?
I love it spicy.
Okay,
for sure, man.
Okay, you're
Definitely.
cool. You're cool. But yeah, man. So let's hear about a little bit about the Sands development.
Well, what do you want to know, man? I mean, it's a long, long story. So we can start from the beginning. I mean, and kind of take it from there. I mean,
yeah,
how
go
far
for
back
it.
do you want to go? I mean, you want to go back from whenever I was called and they wanted me to do the project or work on the
let's
project?
take it all the way
Or
back there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not go all the way into it, every single detail, but set everybody
How
up.
about this? Let's do. Okay, so I got a phone call a long time ago. We talked about this last time, and I became part of this project with Lee Brumfield. God rest his soul. He was let me say something about Lee real quick. He was probably one of the most influential people in my life, other than my parents. And I've said that before. And he was just a great mentor, great guy. I've also said he taught without teaching. I mean, this guy was just a phenomenal human being. Anybody who met him knows him. I mean, they know that, and it's a big loss on this planet. But anyway, I got the pleasure of working with him for 7 years or 6 years. And I really thank God that I got to meet that guy. He was a special person. I'm gonna miss him tremendously. But anyway, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I do love Lee Brumfield, and to this day, I'm still working with Lee Brumfield. So his wishes that he died with or I'm going to bring to fruition. So that's one thing that's driving me behind. That's a driving force behind me. But bottom line, I got invited to, or I was able to be a partner on this project. It's a project in Ocean Springs, about 5.5 acres. It's zoned for multifamily apartments. So I'm just going to take you. I don't want to go into too much detail about the architectural design. People can look at that on a different podcast.
We've got some pictures of it. We're going to throw some of it up.
Okay.
So,
but anyway, so this property is zoned for multifamily. It's zoned for 57 units. Now that's prior to delineation of the wetlands. Is that right?
That is
Wetlands
right.
delineation. So Lee, the last thing that Lee did before he passed was he had those wetlands delineated just so we can get 4 more units. So, you know, it was zoned for 51 with the wetlands as they are. And now that Lee got those wetlands delineated, we can do 61. So we can do 61 apartments on this property. But instead of doing the apartments, we decided that we wanted to do something that was going to fit beautifully within the city of Ocean Springs. Okay. So we decided that we wanted to do 41 individual homes that we called, quote unquote, detached townhomes. All right. So these are detached townhomes because the city of Ocean Springs, the archaic code that they had in this R1A zoning, multifamily zoning. I want to reiterate the point that this is multifamily zoning. Okay. They could have had 57 apartments. We got to reiterate that point as well. That code did not have a definition for the term townhome. So what's a townhome? I mean, Google townhome. It's a home in a town. I mean, literally, that's the definition for townhome. They can be detached. They can be attached. People use those all over the place. So we decided to do a project. We took this concept to the city of Ocean Springs, and they said, you could do the project this way. It's a detached townhome project, and it fits within this zoning, and we approve of it. And we took it to the Board of Aldermen. They approved the project and everything was happy, and we started infrastructure. Everybody was happy.
let me ask you a question real quick. So when you say detached, that you mean separate doors, separate units. It's not like a duplex. It's not like a triplex or anything like that. Like each individual person has their own key. They're going into their own entry.
So have you ever been into like a 0 lot line neighborhood, or you've been to Seaside down in Florida or a neighborhood like that? So, or Florence Gardens, for example. So basically you have a homes that are 10 feet apart from each other. And you got alley access in the rear. So these are detached. They're basically individual dwellings.
It's like Rosemary Beach.
Rosemary Beach, exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, what we thought was a gift to the city. Instead of maximizing density and trying to maximize long-term profits, we said, hey, this is going to be a better fit for the city. So we went with the 41 units. But we made a little fatal mistake that we didn't talk about last time. And because it was its own development, we tried to, or we asked initially, and I'm full disclosure, man. This one thing I want to tell you guys is that I'm just speaking the truth. If somebody has something to say that's different than what I'm saying, come out and say it.
Yeah, you can comment in here.
Yeah, here's a good chance to say it.
If you got any questions for Butler, let them have it.
Right on Facebook. Just
So anyway, where was I at? I was telling you, okay, the 41 units, we made a fatal mistake. Basically, we came out and said, you know what? We had a lot of people calling us from out of town saying, hey, are these going to be small rental deals? Can we, or not small rental? Can we use these as vacation rentals? Well, the house that Lee had in Watercolor was just that. It was a vacation rental, you know? So we said, heck, let's talk to the city. Since it's its own development, do we have to follow the rules of the city, or can we make these their own vacation rentals? And now keep in mind, when you open up that market to people that are out of town and they buy a second or third home, now they're paying full taxes. You know, they're not getting a tax breaks for being, you know, homeowners for having your, what's that called? A homestead
Yeah,
exemption.
Ivan. So you've got a couple houses in a couple different places. You know about this, right?
Definitely. I mean, I'm just, you know, I've been following Michael's story over the last few months now, and I'm almost like shocked. You know, I'm going through similar things like he's doing. You know, and what I think it's really important for people to know is you need to have like best use of a property. And by far what he's doing is obviously it's the best, and it's only going to beautify, you know, Ocean Springs. You know, I'm doing similar projects on Pass Road, more on the commercial things, and making really, really nice, you know, taking these eyesores and making them really, really nice. He took where that property was an old, horrible apartment complex, right?
That was pre-Katrina, right?
You know,
112 units. Yep.
And he's not only that, he's increasing the value, not just for, you know, everyone in Ocean Springs, but all the neighbors around there. I mean, you're going to increase the value of everyone, just like I feel like we're doing on Pass Road. You know, we're taking these old properties that were antique stores or whatever else that have been closed for years, and now making it's not only giving tax revenue to Gulfport and other places, but it's all the area around it is beautifying it, and everyone should be.
It makes it more desirable.
So I mean, for him, I look at it, and I've reached out to Mike, not to be surprised. Say, listen, I would love to invest in it. If you want to do single, I said, if you want to do Section 8 housing, and that's all they want, do it. But I mean, for the city of Ocean Springs and for the neighbors not to want what he's proposing, to me, is absolutely ludicrous.
So back to what you are proposing. So it was the 40, or initially was the 41.
Yeah, it was 41 units, and we took it to the planning commission, and they said, this will fit. So we went forward with horizontal construction, which is your infrastructure.
That's why I told you earlier. That's when I met you. I was out there with Jason Gibson.
Yeah,
Shout out
exactly.
Jason. But
Jason Gibson isn't he running for Biloxi?
I think he is.
City council
Maybe.
potentially. Maybe.
He sent me a text saying he was.
I know he lost a toe in a.
Yeah, he definitely lost a toe.
But not only as we went, and I know a little about the story, but when you're the 41 development guys, they have their own roads. It's going to be a lot of landscape, and I mean, it's going to be beautiful. It's all, I mean,
there was. I didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy, but
oh no, but
anyways, there was over $500,000 in landscape plan, 600,000 to be, I'm not exact, that stuff always changes in projects, but anyway, the bottom line was we could have come in and we could have done the apartment complex at the beginning, but we didn't, because we wanted to do something nice. Now, the fatal blow was obviously we offered we wanted to do the vacation rentals, which any person that's investing in a piece of property, this much money in there. By the way, it's a $30 million project, so that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Wants to open the market to sell it quick. Well, we got a lot of pushback on that at one meeting with the city, and the neighbors came in and they said, "Look, we can't believe you all want to do this on this rental program or whatever, and we don't want to do vacation rentals." And in that meeting, we said that is gone. It's squashed. We realize you guys don't want that. We'll put it in the covenants that each owner, all we get is the people that buy here are going to get the same treatment as every other citizen in the city of Ocean Springs. Now, they asked us to make it more harsh. We said, no, we're not going to make it more harsh, but we'll just make it just like the rest of the city. And we took that rental situation off the table. So that was squashed literally as soon as we saw the
no timeshares
response. They're still bringing that up today.
No Airbnb,
none of that. But they're still using that as part of their defense today. Today, I went and met with one of the mayoral, I can't ever say that word, candidates the other day. And that person said, well, aren't y'all trying to do vacation rentals? And I said, I took that off the table 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, it came off the table. So but the bottom line, at the end of the day, the neighbors had the right to appeal, but they appealed at final plat, which means they appealed after we spent the $1 million on infrastructure, roads, streets, curbs, all that stuff is in. You understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah, to tie your hands, right? Or
it's done.
Was it emotionally? Do you think it was charged to tie your hands, or do you think it was just lack of? Because I'm a lazy guy, I procrastinate a lot. I do things last minute. But do you think it was one of those moves, or do you think it was? Let's wait until he's already in there.
I would be speculating. I don't have any proof that would be the case. I like to think that everybody's good. Unfortunately, that's not the way of the world. I'm not going to accuse anybody of waiting. But, my hands are tied now with this infrastructure. But one thing I do have is heavy equipment, and I'll be happy to pull up a road if I have to. That's where the doubt comes in. So we can talk about that later. But I mean, I can reroute whatever I want. That's private infrastructure.
I was gonna say you own it.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not the majority owner. Mr. Al Brumfield, Lee's brother, is, and then I got Josh Workman, my business partner with Butler Homes, and Jennifer Gill, who is a large investor in this too. And that poor girl, she's just, all she wanted to do is something beautiful, man. This girl, and her and Lee, she's the one that introduced me to Lee. She's a great person. Do you know Jennifer Gill by chance? She's a realtor.
Yeah, I do.
And
I know of her.
Yeah, she's a super nice person. But anyway, always happy, just a good person. For this to happen to her, I mean, this is the thing, man. I talked to some people recently, and they said, well, we're not suing you, Mike. We're suing the city. Well, you're affecting me tremendously. You're affecting
your bottom dollar
tremendously. Yeah, exactly. You're affecting Al Brumfield. Lee Brumfield, is gone now. I mean, so we're kind of taking this lead, and we have to deal with what we got. But I mean, they're affecting locals. We're locals. Everybody's local. Right. I mean, that's the problem,
and you got, employees. You got a lot of people that, were like the guy you brought up about the concrete. He was doing and he went and got all that equipment to do this project.
That's right.
He took a risk of his own money to get the certain project.
They want to get paid on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he kind of, seen the dream and was going to follow the dream. And all of a sudden, hey man, you spent all that money and now we're on hold.
Let me ask you
not
this.
only look at the city, but look at the city. I mean, a $30 million project, just the tax revenue.
You wouldn't think they'd want to run that away.
I mean, it's just it makes no logical sense.
All right, let me ask you this, Ivan. So you look
move
for
your mic a
these
little bit.
projects, you look
By the way.
for investment opportunities. Would this deter you, or do you see this as a new something new that's happened in this game, or do you think that it's something that you look for and you try to avoid it?
It's tough. I mean, it's and I've talked to Mike several times about it. I mean, we do tons of projects right now, and you get such pushback by turning a turd or something that's garbage into
Lipstick
something
on a pig.
Yeah, and you turn something nice. You get so much. It's amazing how I think the city and people that work for, not good, bad, and different, but some of these codes are so archaic. So you look at our buildings that we're doing on Pass Road, all brand new and really pretty, and they're they might argue about having some landscaping around your sidewalks, which is fine. We'll make it, beautify it. But you go look across the street.
Look across the street.
And it's like, hey, are they selling crack out of there? So I mean, you got to understand. I mean,
It's the truth.
You got to put stuff in perspective. It's like you're trying to benefit everyone, and you're trying to do the right thing. And I always think the most important thing is best use.
Yeah,
what's going to look the best, and what's going to be the most valuable for the asset of the community and for the city. But tax dollars. I mean, number one. I mean, for a city to not go and have a judge not, do something on a $30 million project that is only going to bring more tax revenue. And I don't live in Ocean Springs. So for me, I have no
clout. No dog in the hunt.
I have no dog in the hunt whatsoever. I mean, for not to bring that tax and to benefit, the city.
So what's the typical average selling price of these proposed homes, Mike?
I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 700, probably.
And you got to make a good
700.
pretty penny to afford that, and that means that you're in a good tax bracket. So you're paying good taxes.
We had 3 pre-sold. One of them was a second home. 2 of them were primary residences. All of them were over $1 million a piece. My spec house I'm building we were going to list it at 700,000. I've got columns on that thing that are, from the ground up, we've got over $6,000 per column when you count the concrete and the round column itself.
Okay, Kendall Sauls and Lana and Dr. Sauls, that family, Sybil, they were going to move there.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people were going to move there, man.
They started Leo's.
We have a list right now. People are contacting me. If this project gets off the ground, call me. I want to buy one now. Like I'm sending them leads to Jennifer. I'm like, here's the one. Here's another one. I mean, it's crazy. Like
better save their email addresses.
Yeah, it's well, we got them. We got to save.
What I don't
Good
understand,
call.
even
Good call.
what I don't even understand, even which is crazier, that why any of the neighbors would want an apartment complex when they can have people that are getting $500+ to $1 million plus homes next to you on very tiny.
Yeah, if you had a
lots.
$500,000 house, that would probably raise you up to the $750,000
and not
price
only
range.
that, but I mean the
Increase your-
value of their home is going to skyrocket. And when they got to look at what they had before, they can't look at what it is today, an empty piece of dirt and no one's neighbors.
Yeah.
Before they had an apartment complex.
Yeah,
Before Katrina was apartment complex. So they should be looking at, hey, do we want another apartment complex? Maybe it'll be new and nice, which I'm sure Mike will only do. Or do we want beautiful homes that are only going to beautify our neighborhood? To me, there's zero logical sense from, I don't understand the I would love to know what the neighbor's point of view of why they wouldn't want it. To me, it doesn't make any logical sense.
They'll let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
section.
I mean, is it taken away from their view? Is it, I mean, what is it? It's got to be, I mean, to have 41, like you said, have them people, it's got to be something.
I believe, my personal opinion, I believe the reason is they don't want neighbors. I believe they can think people are different. And I've had issues, I did Marina Cantina. We had issues with putting a sign up, putting this up just because of neighbors. And some people that have power might feel that they're able to stop a project. So, this could be, they don't want neighbors. They probably don't want traffic and they don't want neighbors, but that's not realistic. So I live in Goose Point, in Biloxi, and, I happen to live on the water, and I bought a lot next to me, and, and I built another area to my house, and the person across the street was really, really upset that I blocked their view. Well,
they should have bought that land.
Really, really upset. So, this was my property I built on, but they were devastated because they were across. They were going to have this beautiful view of the water, but your view of the water is only there as long as that lot is not being built on. So people can't expect to have that view forever if they don't own that piece of property. He owns that property. He should be able to do what he wants to do, as long as it's in the best use of what it is.
Yeah,
and what's
Slippery
best for-
Sam's. You should totally put a Slippery Sam's.
Dude, I
there
would
if this
love to
doesn't
do
work
something.
out.
I kind of lose. I'm a little long winded, but at some point it's just like you kind of throw your hands up, like, what am I doing here? What's going on? I mean, I talked to a guy, one of the opposition people that are suing the city. They're not suing me directly, but they're suing the city. And I mean, he's still dug in. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't the main guy, Michael on. It was or Julia, whatever her name is. But this guy was still. I mean, and look, from an outside perspective, it's everybody's got their own values. Like, this guy was a really nice guy. You understand what I'm saying? If you sat and talked to the guy, you would like him,
right?
But I'm
maybe we
here,
should get him on the podcast.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, the thing is great, but I mean, but here's the thing, man. You can dissect codes left and right, and we can go through this process, and we can talk about what we did and where it went. But the bottom line is they've appealed every single thing that we've done. So we did the 41. I'll run through it real fast, and then I'll explain to you. We did the 41 units, appealed. They won. I don't disagree that the city kind of went out on a limb, but the city wanted a beautiful project. They didn't want apartments, and we were going to give them that beautiful project. You would think the neighbors would have came up and gave us high fives and said, "Thank you, we appreciate y'all."
No doubt.
I mean, seriously. So I think we kind of screwed up when we did the vacation thing. But as soon as we realized they hate this, we took it off the table immediately. So it's like, oh, whoa. This is a team effort. And that's one thing I preach in my business, especially with my homeowners when I'm building a house for somebody. Hey, look, this is a team effort. I'm not here against you. I'm with you. I'm working for you. This is like I get no benefit of working against people.
Yeah.
How does that help me?
No, I'm with you.
Like, how does that help me at all? It doesn't help me at all. So if I'm building your house, Ivan, and I do something wrong, I'm going to admit it. Right. And I'm going to say, I screwed that up, man, and I'll eat it. I'll eat the cost of that or whatever. And you're going to say, yeah, you did screw it up. But when I say, Ivan, I'm going to fix it, you're going to say, well, he fixed it. Right. I mean, how are you going to be mad at me? You can't be mad at me anymore. So with these people, we screwed up on the small rental thing. We screwed up, but we fixed it immediately. Boom, just like that. So I mean, that was it. So, or not small. I keep saying small rental because after the Katrina thing, man, it's vacation rental, VRBO. Let me clarify, VRBO. But anyway, so they won, and then the city attorneys did not appeal. The city attorney had the opportunity to appeal that suit that the neighbors won to the Supreme Court, and they didn't do it. So now we're like, city, like, what about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about me? So we said, okay, we're not allowed to do our beautiful project. The dream is dying, So here's 57 attached townhomes. By the way, I can get through this. This will take forever, but they didn't have a definition for the word townhome. When we decided to do the 57 attached townhomes, they now have a definition for the word townhome. They had to go through all this stuff, and they had a definition. And then, so they got it. Yeah, they got a definition for the word townhome. That's how old the code is, man.
Back to that procrastination stuff. It's not relevant until you don't need it.
So yeah, Michael, what's up, Ryan Gibbs? Michael West said, ask the neighbors to come on the podcast and explain their side.
Be great.
Or give them the opportunity. Hey,
I would like to hear it.
Yeah.
I coming up in the world as a young professional, I've often found myself sometimes in a room full of people who didn't think I belonged to be there. And it was almost like they had a grudge on their shoulder. And I'm like, what is it? What is it with you? Why do you not like me? And sometimes you just can't figure it out. There's just nothing to it. Mm-hmm. And the world's just not going to go the way you think it is. And you got to figure out how to, adversity, I think is what it's called, what to do next.
Exactly.
And I commend you for that, man. I mean, here we are talking about it. And talking about it is one of the first process, steps of making everybody else aware of it.
Yeah.
And then the more aware it is, I mean, that's how things come into action.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And part of the deal is, you can't. I know that the code book has codes in there specifically for specific reasons. I mean, obviously there's codes in cities that all make sense, right? They got planners that are way smarter than me that do their thing, and they plan the cities. And I realize that what I'm doing now publicly isn't going to sway the judge. He's going to rule on legal. So you got legal, you got planning, you got all this stuff going on. But what I'm trying to do simply is bring public awareness to people as to why that project's still sitting there and what our intentions were and how much trouble we've had getting there. Because think about this, man. I'm a young developer. I mean, I'm 39. I'm not as young as I wish I was, but I'm not as old as Ivan either.
Hey, taking shots.
It is true.
But anyway, the point is like, think about people that are going to go through this. Imagine if I didn't have the team that I have. Like, imagine if this was just my money. I'd be dead in the water.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely.
I'd be dead, man.
Not in South Mississippi because you'd be running from people.
I'd be Ivan's superintendent trying to hey man, can I get a job? I swear, I'm not kidding, dude. Like thank God I had people that believed in me that were stronger than me and that believed in this project. I've got a silent investor that helps me out from time to time, and that poor guy is sitting there. But I promised him, I said, you will never lose your money. I don't care. Whatever I have to do to make your money back, that's what I'm going to do. Period. He's going to get paid before I do, man. I'm the last one to get paid. But that's the way you run your business. Right. You know that.
I agree 100%. And one of the bad things I think on the coast, more than anywhere, is if you go to places like Florida, Texas, they're all about business.
Yeah,
getting things approved. What's the best for the?
They want it in there. Mississippi makes it hard for people to work.
Very. And listen, I mean, not that the city's doing bad, but I mean, some of these codes and some of these plannings are so archaic. I mean, I'm working on a piece of property right now that the parcel is like 3.7 acres, and I'm looking to do something really special. I really can't announce it now, but half the parcel is zoned commercial. And I'm talking about the same parcel, literally half of it. And then the other half is zoned residential. So, the way I did is I'm buying the property, but the guy who I'm buying it from is actually a very well-known person. So I'm making him, before I actually close on it, to actually go to the city
and try to get it switched
and get it done. Smart. Because one of the big things is
you're not going to get it done.
It's not it's who you know.
It's who you know,
which is scary. But like a guy like Mike Butler might not be able to get something done, but a guy that's very powerful, okay, or that has a lot of pull or knows people on the council or whatever it is, they're going to get a pull. It's much harder than to say no, and which is sad because it should be black and white.
Yep.
If the deal is right and it's best use and best things, it should be approved. It shouldn't be approved because I'm Jordan and not Ivan. And then that's one of the things. And this area,
that's true.
And the South is a lot of it is like a good old boy system.
It really is.
It's all who you know and what you know.
And like the older I've gotten, the more my eyes have been open to it.
Yeah.
And I've started realizing that. So how is that even like that property being that way of being like
it's just old archaic
like
zoning, and it's something you got to deal with, and that's why honestly more than anything I've known Mike for 12 years, and when I saw this whole thing, I mean I feel horrible for him. I mean as a young guy or younger than me as a young guy, I mean the amount of time and energy, not only the money's huge as it all, but the amount of time and energy and the mental anguish you go through for something like this it takes years off your life. People don't, I've been through, as everyone knows, I've been through some bad times, and I've been through some great times. But I mean, this right here is mentally, not only to him, but to his family, his partners, everything else. And all he's trying to do is do something good. He's not trying to hurt anyone. He's trying to do the benefit of Ocean Springs. So to me, it upsets me. Yeah. And I mean, I think I might have been one of the first persons like, hey man, if you want to piss off, I'll go section. Me and you, I'll go partners.
We got these shirts that y'all are making, right? Are you making these or no?
Yeah, we're thinking about it. A friend of mine sent me that today. Yeah.
Hey guys,
I'm bluffing on that.
Hey, can you guys share our podcast? Get this word out. We got 28, 30 people in here, maybe some more. Share this podcast out. Get this out. This is a serious development. There's people that are locally that want to live here. It's a beautiful development. It's like Ivan said. I mean, it's something good. It's if you go by there now, you're wondering somebody ran out of money, and it needs to be bulldozed. And the reality is they're ready to pull the trigger. We're waiting on this to stop.
And just so everybody know, I have zero. Not a cent, no financial interest in this at all. I want some, but I have absolutely none.
No, you're coming as a friend.
I'm doing this not only as a friend, but as another investor that have some similar issues. When I try to do
appreciate your expertise, man.
So that's really it.
That's it's great. It's always great to get, first of all, the support, man. I really do appreciate that, dude. It's awesome. I mean, it's great to have people that support you, and then also different perspectives. I mean, like you've got a whole different, business experience than I do in my life. And yours is, you got a lot more of it than I do. I'm green. I'm still green, man. I'm still super green. Like I'm in this and
you're so young,
but I mean, no perspective. Like I got my skill set, which is, building houses. And you were there when I built my first spec house.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, we had a crawfish bowl at Mark's house, man. That was my first spec. Ivan right next to Ivan's house. But the stuff that I've learned from there to now is crazy. I mean, it's insane. So I feel like I can build a house. I can build anybody's house. And I understand the processes and all that good stuff. But this development stuff is like I was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? When we met. So for me, It's just, and then the stuff that you talk about with like, hey, if you do this with the apartments, with the taxes and this and that, and I mean, I don't know that stuff. Now I got people that know that stuff. That, like Mr. Al, he's an accountant, he understands all that good stuff. You do, but I need to consult with people like you. If I get pushed to the apartments, I'm going to talk to you, and I want to understand what I can do, what my tax breaks are, because from a if you just look at it from a just a without digging in, if you just look at the surface, apartments, don't look great from a financial perspective. But once you start digging in,
like an apartment complex,
you get credits, tax credits and stuff.
Yeah, not only you get a lot of depreciation when he's doing a house, he's building it and selling it, and he's paying short-term capital gains.
Yeah,
I mean, so he's paying a higher tax rate when he goes and does in apartments. The apartments are going to be over 12, so he's going to have long-term capital gains, and he's going to be able to depreciate it. And now with different things like cost segregation, other things, he's going to be able to get huge tax savings by building an apartment complex. But he doesn't want to do that. Right. He wants to try to make what's best for the city of Ocean Springs.
And that's the other thing I got to say is like people are like, God, quit fighting. Look, we had a dream together. And listen, everybody's like, no, you just want to make money. I've had that comment, and I literally just brushed that comment off my shoulders because
you can make money somewhere else.
Of course, I'm going to make money. Of course, I'm going to make money. I need to make money to live. We all need to make money. Making money's not a bad word. Making money's fine.
It's always money in the banana stand.
Look, man, my phone rings. I swear to you, like this is not bragging. I get 5 to 6 inquiries for custom homes per week. I can't build as many houses as people want me to build. I can't do it, and I won't do it because if I do it, then my quality is going to
spread yourself thin.
Yeah, so I have I live in South Mississippi. It doesn't take a lot of money to live in South Mississippi. If you want to live good, it doesn't take a lot of money. I live on the water too.
Yeah,
I don't have 2 lots. I got 1 lot.
A little bit of money.
I got 1 lot.
We're just trying to figure it out.
So I've got 2 lots. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't take that much money to live good in South Mississippi, man. If you do it right, I mean, I like to fish. I like to hang out on my pier. When I come home on Friday afternoon, I might not leave till Sunday unless it's by boat.
I heard that.
That's it, dude. I got cane poles. I catch a croaker.
I wish I would have grabbed one of his photos. He sends me. He'll send me photos that night when he gets off. He'll send me photos of him just sitting by himself out there looking at the water. I mean that.
So I'm not like
no.
I don't care. Like it's not all about the profit. It's about doing something. I told my wife whenever I first got involved in this project, I said I can't wait to run down this beach and look at this thing when it's done. I was so excited about it. Y'all got pictures of me putting the sign in 2017. Okay. I don't stick every sign in every yard. My superintendent does that. I put that sign in because, and that's not like I'm at every house. I'm involved in every build. I talk to every owner all the time. I'm doing my walkthroughs and stuff like that. But like, I wanted to put that sign in there, man. Like
you want to make it something special.
All right, Bo Blaylock wants to know. He's a good buddy of mine. He asks, have you talked to any of the new mayoral candidates in Ocean Springs, and have they stated any of their positions on this project?
I've talked to 2 of them, and they're. I wouldn't say that they're not putting their signs in my yard. if that gives you an answer, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, if I was a mayoral candidate. I got that word right.
You did. You nailed it.
You nailed it, bro.
Did it good.
Yeah.
So look, I would, but that's just me. Like I pick a direction and run with it. I don't waffle. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm respectful, but I don't waffle. You know what I mean? Like you can't respect a man that doesn't like. From my perspective,
got to stand for something.
Stand for something, dude.
Right.
Stand for what you believe in. So. If it were me that was running for mayor, I support that $30 million project.
Right.
I think every single person running for any political office in Ocean Springs should 100% support this project. Why in the hell wouldn't you?
Right.
I mean, think about
that. That's the problem with politics also.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running, they don't want to really piss one person off or another. But one thing he did say that I rarely resonated as myself is when you put that sign in there, you want to be proud of it. And that's kind of really, to be honest with you, why I do what I stuff is I want to be proud of the stuff we build. Like, I'm proud. Every time I go to Marine Cantina, I'm proud of it. Yeah. Every time I pass that pass road and see what those places
like. Thank you, man. Thank you.
No, it looks good. I drive by it 3 times a week.
I make a slogan now, make Pass Road great again.
And what we're talking about is
you got your hat?
I think I'm going to do it because Pass Road, honestly, could be special again. There's tons of traffic or whatever it is. But, I think if everyone focuses on making the coast a better place, beautifying it, it's the right thing to do. And
you can't. You got too many people that have got to shine their light in a negative manner.
It makes no sense.
Point their fingers.
And what is but also not only just like you're making like Pass Road. It's also like executive suites for like local small businesses to be a part of it. He's made this crazy concept. It works to have people can have a small business that can't afford to have a big brick and mortar.
Mhm.
I've has now made it where you can have like an office with conference room, and you can share with the people.
But what are you doing with yourself if you're not giving back?
Yeah.
I mean, like there comes
True.
a point in time where you're making money. Look, you got to listen to this. This is the thing. And this, look, I told you last time I was here, you inspired me to donate more to charities. You know, I hate that we came without you. That was 100% my fault.
It's all good.
100%
I'm
my
glad
fault.
it happened.
But yeah, me too. It worked out good. And Matt, it was all God sent stuff. So bottom line, when I left here, I left inspired to donate to charities, you know, and I listened to the signs, and I'm not a super religious guy from a church perspective, but I'm a very spiritual person. So I like when I go out to Chandler and fish and all that good stuff, you know, that's where I'm.
The qualm.
And I see your Facebook. I know you like to fish.
I'm fishing.
We'll do it together.
All right.
But anyway, but the bottom line is sure, it's nice to like my goal was initially, hey, I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to pay off all this debt. I'm going to get this passive income in, and then I'm going to donate. Well, you know what? I might not be alive to start donating. And you straight up convinced, like you inspired me in that last meeting. You and Matt McDonald inspired me 100% that I need to start doing something now. So we're going to do something with this project. And that's another thing. Like the day Lee Brumfield died, he was supposed to be at my office at 9:30. Okay. I got the call at 9:15. It was horrible. It was terrible. Worst day, one of the worst days of my life for sure. Probably like one of the closest people that's ever died. I had a lot of friends in high school, but anyways, like this guy was a super huge inspiration, and I still hear him, man. When I read back to the text messages, I hate that I deleted his last voicemail. You know, I read back to the text messages and I can hear his voice. You know what I mean? He was excited about this stuff that we were doing. He was reluctant on the social media, but he let me go, and he was excited. He was super excited about it when we were doing it. So it was awesome. But the bottom line is, the point I was trying to make is, he was supposed to be at a meeting at the Homes of Grace before my meeting. Okay. And he never, ever told me, he never boasted or anything. He never told me how much money or whatever he donated to people, but his meeting before me was to meet with the guy that runs, I've met him, Josh, that runs the Homes of Grace. And he was meeting with him to do it, some kind of donation. And I know he built a trailer park for these people, and these people all need second chances. Lee Brumfield was a stellar human being. Like, Lee Brumfield didn't drink. Lee Brumfield didn't do drugs. Lee Brumfield never went down the wrong path. He was just a good human being. We all have more vices than him, but he never ever judged. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what I was getting at is, when we get this thing going on, like when we finally start building something, a portion of this profit is going to go where Lee Brumfield wanted it to go. And that's because he's still working with me, man.
That's right.
Like Homes of Grace is going to get donations every time we sell a house. And I got to talk to my partners and his brother and see how much that's going to be.
You know, they're on board with that.
Oh, we already talked to him.
I mean,
we haven't discussed
give
the numbers
something.
yet
Just give some,
There's no doubt.
All right. Matt Stebley said he's 100% on board with it. And he's running for alderman at large. Let's see. Lisa Alderman said her husband supports. That's Ricky Alderman. So you got some support from some.
And if y'all want to put signs out there, put signs out there.
Thank you, Matt. I need to talk to you about a tattoo that
Cecilia Patrick says, don't give up. The community really needs to be educated on the benefits. So
there's a button right there, Matt.
So we're making the awareness, taking strides out there, getting people educated on it. But
I think,
and Ricky's a great guy. Ricky,
Ricky's amazing. I think the whole thing though, so me and Matt, you guys are older than us. Okay. And
we're inspiring y'all.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like I'm getting like Social Security next year with you guys. I'm like by far the
oldest. But the thing is
how old are you?
it's not
48.
all this.
Not that much older.
All this is so much extra work to do something good. Like, it shouldn't be this at all. This should not be.
It's almost like you got to be a martyr.
Like like it's crazy, man. And because like my kid's gonna grow up here, like, and to have like a small little Baytown or a Rosemary, like, having that kind of destination, because you're bringing new people in too. It's not a bad thing. You can't just own Front Beach. Nobody can just own Front Beach.
You're right. And one thing that I will say is, I know you took it off the table, and I think the coast has got to realize is it's Airbnb and this VRBO, this stuff.
It's the way of the future.
If you look at every,
shout out Brian Chevalier.
And listen, I'm sorry to anyone. I mean, if you look at every major city right now in the country,
I just booked the Airbnb in
I'm
Whitefish,
talking about
Montana.
every place that is amazing.
Get it.
And do you honestly, what's really holding us back? There's one thing that's holding us back on the coast. Why we don't have it?
No, what's
It's the casinos.
You think?
Yeah,
they got
especially in Biloxi. I mean, Biloxi. It's funny that this even happened. I got a text today that a house that I had that I sold, they thought it was mine. They put a VRBO and it was illegal. but it wasn't my house. So I gave them the person's information. But, you know, especially along the beach here, if you go to Destin, if you go to Seaside, you go to
They're all
30A.
rentals.
I mean, these are $5, 10, $15 million homes that beautify that whole area. You're talking about, like, are we a tourist destination?
Well, we want to be until it comes down to the
we
nitty
wanna
gritty,
be-
and then we don't. then-
We want to be a tourist destination. We have an aquarium. How do you not want VRBOs and Airbnbs and have people
We
build
gotta have
beautiful
them.
new facilities?
We just got
But-
to build some hotels, man.
But they don't want that. They don't want that, which makes no sense because it's more tax revenue, more tax dollars. And the reason why they don't want it is because the neighbor next door that's been there for 30 or 40 years doesn't want someone.
It's called
transit
change. Nobody likes
coming in and out.
change.
Hope and change. I
But that's
mean,
the future.
it is the future.
The future is Airbnb and VRBO.
Well, it's so fast now too. It's like it's kind of like an Uber. I mean,
Correct.
you go in there and you find exactly what the house you want to live in. Hey, you're going on vacation. There's people that actually have like
They're gonna go spend
Star
money.
Wars rooms, and they spend money in these Airbnbs, and they make like themed. Like you can go stay tonight in like a Nickelodeon room. I mean, I'm serious. So it's like, hey, honey, you want to take the kids? We'll go to this room, and you can pick through everything.
But this coast is pretty much, I don't know if you guys realize it, it's like anti it.
Yeah.
You go from Ocean Springs to maybe even Bay St. Louis. Most of them, the only way they let you do it is you got to be zoned in a little small area.
Do you think that comes with the progressiveness of the state? I mean, look, we just voted marijuana legal or medical marijuana. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah,
Just
if
hit
it
the
even
news.
happens.
If it happens, come on,
it
no,
seems
no.
like
The
they
the
keep
government's
fighting
trying to like wet their beak and get paid off
Yeah.
of it. I got some more research to do on it before I make any kind of public statements on it. But that was something that Mississippi was so taboo against. Like, no, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. Well, they had to grow in Oxford. Whenever I went to school, they had to grow the operation up there, and I was just like, okay, that's weird. But everybody else was slowly, progressively making it legal. And then you're thinking Mississippi with their good old boy ways, like you just said,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to be the last ones to do it.
I mean,
well, then all of a sudden we weren't. We
Yeah.
weren't the last ones to do it.
I
So-
look at all these empty lots on the beach, okay, that are in what's it called? Velocity zone that need to be built up. That will be empty now for the next probably 10 years. If they open up Airbnb,
There'd be people in here tomorrow.
you would have people all across the country that would come in here and build these
Or you would buy them all and then tell them that you can't
Well, I would try
you
to.
can't come build
I
around
would go
me.
to guys younger than me, like Mike, that had the money, and say, "Hey, listen, let's all get together and do it." No, but
I
seriously,
just slide in with
say that had the money. Look,
But
I got
that's
some
the
skill.
future.
Like I could build them, but I don't know about the
No,
money
but
situation.
that's the
You gotta have-
future.
Well, do you think that as the new politician wave takes over, those old school values, and that's kind of where I was going back with the, you know, what I was saying before.
Do you see
those are
new
gonna-
politician waves? Because I mean, I
Yeah,
know-
kind of.
Where do you see it?
Biloxi.
Where do you see it?
Yeah, no, not really.
I mean, besides
I mean,
Ocean
yeah,
Springs,
small
I mean,
city councils and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't see like the even the people
Shay,
that are
I
running.
mean, Shay, that's why you're saying
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
'cause
I
you had
say
Shay
that.
here
There's
the
some
other
new
night.
people,
but he's gone now, and now
But
you're.
so are all the old gray hairs. I mean, they're starting to move out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Chick Cody's running for mayor, and he's a great guy. I mean,
Yeah, I'm related
so-
to Chick. We're cousins.
but
so
to
I don't
some
know.
extent, I just think we need to have people be like, let's look at if you want to be a tourist destination.
Go
The
all
number
in.
one thing with tourist destinations is Airbnb.
But
and
you can
VRBO.
do it classy. I mean, you don't have to do it.
Oh,
in a- in a-
100%. You
in a-
can do it classy. That's where
Well,
you make the planning. Say,
but-
hey, it can't be a trailer on stilts.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be a really nice house.
But an
Can't be a
Airbnb, like
Chalmette camp.
it's guys. If you've never stayed, like Airbnbs are nice.
Nice.
I mean, it's a nice.
Well, look at Seaside, Florida, man. Everything,
all
everywhere my
Airbnb.
wife and I go, when we go on vacation, it's 100% VRBO. Or she
Same.
looks on Airbnb, but it's 100%.
Yeah.
So that's where we go. I mean, we go down. We went to the Keys, man. I finally took 2 weeks off here. I'm doing it every year. So my business shuts down
It's awesome.
Christmas till the 4th.
And you know, with hotels, it's
But-
hit or miss. It's hit or miss with hotels. I'm sorry.
But I got loud kids, man.
I'd
My
rather
kids are
stay in an
screaming.
Airbnb than a hotel. I mean, 99% of the time.
And now with COVID and talk, and you know, so my whole family's got a thing called FOE. It's family over everything. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's special is when you go to an Airbnb and you're going out of town. Not only can you have I mean, I go every year with 5 or 6 families. We go to Seaside or Destin or whatever it is, and it's a special time.
You must rent Mr. P's house.
Yeah, you get a lot of memories. You get a lot
Get
of
a bunch of
memories.
houses.
Right.
But in Destin and those guys, there's a lot of places that have 8, 9, 10 bedroom
Bedroom, yeah.
homes that are made for that. And when you split it amongst the families, it's relatively inexpensive.
I got
And you
married.
get
I
something
got
special.
married down there in Seaside, and I said it last time. We stayed at Lee Brumfield, had a house there in Watercolor, and then we went to the one at Seaside. I had 4 master suites.
Yeah.
Like I used the house for the venue for the rehearsal dinner. We didn't have a wedding party, but the rehearsal dinner, and then I used the house for the wedding. We got married on the beach, came back and had the reception. 2 parties in one house. 4 people, 4 master suites. It was awesome.
And so, I mean, I think honestly, I think that's the future. I would love someone to.
Are there many moves being made? I mean, that's it.
Well,
How
I know
do you even put that into a place? Like you got to write a bill. And,
I know Biloxi is really not a huge fan of it.
Yeah,
Really?
really? Do it.
Oh yeah, they're. I mean,
Even like the old historical houses right by the casinos and
talk to
stuff.
Brian, your boy Brian. He'll tell you it's just tough. You need to have approvals.
Brian
and stuff.
Chevalier is a saint.
Hey, now they're gonna listen. If we keep going down this rabbit hole, now they're gonna be like, "See, I told you they wanted the sands."
No, it had nothing to do with the sands.
No,
bro.
it's
and Ocean Springs is a little different than what I'm saying in Gulfport and Biloxi. But if we want to be a tourism town, which they say we are,
yeah.
and with the aquarium and
We could
Shucker
kill it in
Stadium.
Biloxi. You could kill it in Biloxi.
kill it in Biloxi, like downtown Biloxi. If you just took Vue Marché and knocked it all around and made all those VRBOs, you would turn that whole area around. Howard Avenue, all that stuff.
And it comes
Let's
down.
get into it.
It comes down to like for me, it would be like I don't think a lot of like our politics down here is they don't like change.
No, exactly.
And that's with your property, like guys, do you remember them apartments on Front Beach? Because I do. Like, and now you're trying to say, hey, there's 41. Eventually, like right now, I can't afford living there. It's okay. I mean, 34, but one day I might. One day, them houses are gonna be built, and I might buy one just to be on my golf cart, having a good time. Eating my bagels.
Retired line.
Yeah, I mean, because you think
Bagels.
it's not only that when you do a development like your development, you're bringing in people that go, hey, honey, let's get on the golf cart. Let's go down and shop at this little
Spend some
boutique.
money
Let's
here,
go.
spend some money there.
Let's go to Little Miner's toy store. Let's get involved.
So what's next on this whole on this process? I mean, we're still in the waiting game. We're still in courts and it's in lingo. And
So here's I gotta take this thing off, man. I can't do it.
all right,
Try.
you tried. You did try.
Yeah, I
A for
tried.
effort.
I can hear myself.
You have the voice of
echoing
an
the whole
angel.
time. Thank you. I very very much appreciate that. Do you think that too?
I think very, 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 very
All right. So bottom line, we did I think we're back at the 57 townhomes that we tried to do. The neighbors appealed that, and then it's just
Okay, I got some bourbon. Bourbon in the beard, guys. Pause.
So I just pointed to last. I just pointed to
Hey,
last.
they're bullying me.
No, we're definitely not bullying. But anyways, the bottom line is we did the 57 units. They appealed that after they appealed the first one. So then they appealed the second one, and then the third one was the UDC was passed. So the UDC, for those that don't know, is the Unified Development Code. Unified Development Code is basically zero lot line development. It's done all over the country. It's done smart homes, smart code stuff, or it's done in Florence Gardens, all that good stuff. So basically 5-foot setbacks on the front and side. So like your sidewalk basically hits your front door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Alley access in the rear, that type of stuff. Very, very, very small lot living. Basically just, as a matter of fact, we stayed in a house just like that in the Keys over Christmas. But community pool, green spaces. We took the middle lot of that development that is a super valuable lot, probably worth $500,000 right now, and made it a green space. So other people could have views
Just for that.
and kids can play soccer in it, and it's got sprinklers in it.
Pretty thoughtful.
Yeah, we try to be a little thoughtful, but people don't see
Sprinklers.
it. But it's just crazy. So look, so the UDC came and it changed the zoning in a lot of the city, maybe the whole city. I don't know if Ricky can comment or whatever. I think it changed the zoning in the entire city, and it changed the whole code. So now we don't have an archaic code anymore. We have
It's bedtime
a normal. We wanted that 1
I
hour.
gotta have my I'm on a diet, and every 2.5 hours I gotta eat something. So. But I got 15 minutes. I'm good.
Okay.
Small window.
But you got anything in your pocket? You got like
I'm
Do you want a
perfect.
slice of cheese?
I'm perfect.
okay. He's trying to beat Jernigan.
I got to beat a few of these guys. Let me give a shout out. Hold on. John Boothby, John Landry, Jeremy Jernigan. Who else is in this thing? Oh, George Lacatus.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
So what do
Me
you
and my friends drink
All
together. We
you
don't just wait
boys are
together.
going down on the 15th.
what are y'all doing though? So let's go real quick. What are you doing?
I don't want to interrupt them, but
Oh,
that's fine.
This story was great. We're doing we started, I think like sometime in January. We did a percentage of body fat loss and weight loss. And you're taking those two, divide them, and whoever wins. And we each put up a decent sum of money.
What is
What is it?
What's,
So what is it?
what's the
We
money?
each gave putting up $500 each.
Okay.
And the winner will get 35. There's seven of us, so $3,500 or $3,000 minus your money.
Okay.
So, and,
He's taking it serious
It's
right
very,
now.
very competitive. Everyone's been very, very competitive. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been whoever wins, great. But everyone's doing great.
It's benefiting
we're,
all
we're,
of us.
we're all winners.
That's good.
But let me give one prediction. One prediction right now is within a year from now, there's not a doubt in my mind he'll be doing what he wants to be doing to this project.
I agree with that.
I do too.
I think everyone would be foolish not to allow it to happen. And that's
I hope
a
you're
dog
right.
without a hunt, but he will be doing this project. And to be honest, if you did it like Florence Gardens, if you had to do that route, that's a beautiful route also.
I know. Yeah, it's just
So,
a
I
good-
mean,
same designer, same landscape designer.
so to me, I mean, you know, you go that route if that's what they want. It's a beautiful route. It might not be as great as your first one, but to me, either one of those are a win-win for the city of Ocean Springs.
yeah,
But apartment complex is not. I would love to be partners in an apartment complex because the tax advantages and the depreciation. But what he's doing, I think the two projects that he'd prefer to do are definitely a win for him.
You know what Ivan reminds me of? DuckTales.
DuckTales?
What are you thinking about?
I'm not even sure what he's talking about.
DuckTales. It was like growing up.
That swam in the money.
Yeah, swimming.
Yeah,
When
he's swimming
when
in
you were
the
making that.
Always trying to think
He's
about it.
swimming in the
Yes.
yeah, whatever.
I mean,
Was that now you're being the bully?
What? No, DuckTales. No, DuckTales. I mean, he's a smart guy. Just like you said, I'll be in if it's this way. It's
yeah.
he just. I
I,
mean,
would be in anyway, but I know that's the only way he'd let me.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, man, I don't know what's going to happen. That's basically what you asked me, right? What do you think's
Yeah,
going to happen?
yeah.
Or where you at? So here's the thing. We did the 57. Now we're back to the UDC. They fought the UDC. They fought the UDC and called it spot zoning, even though like the majority of the city was rezoned. So how do you call that spot zoning? And they said, well, they changed the R1A, which is what we're zoned multifamily. Again, multifamily. They changed the R1A to RM1. Well, RM1 actually benefits my original project, like significantly. I can even do a little bit of light commercial. I think, I don't know. I got to look into it. But so they sued to stop the UDC. Well, this is why we don't have a ruling after 3 years. The first one got a ruling. The second one,
that's apartments.
what's that?
I'm just showing pictures of the apartments and stuff.
The second one, which was the 57 townhomes, they were supposed to rule on that, but then the Unified Development Code came up. So they piled the Unified Development Code up onto the apartment or the 57 unit townhome project. So they just said, we're going to take this all under consideration. Then we filed for the apartments. Okay. We said, the heck with it. We're going to go build apartments. We filed for the apartment permit and that went to a different judge. That judge, when they filed an appeal against the apartments, and then that judge threw it out and said they filed improperly, but the other judge still had a stay on the property. And the stay basically means that Mr. Butler, Mr. Brumfield, Miss Gill, Mr. Workman, you're not allowed to do anything with your property, period. You can't do anything with your property until I rule on it. That's what that stay means. Okay. So there's a stay on the property, meaning if I go submit a permit that's a by right issue, if I wanted to go build one house in the middle of that property right now, I'm not allowed to do it.
Could you sell it?
I can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
Well, I don't know if I could sell the property. I guess nobody would buy it.
Nobody would buy it. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I might be interested.
The
right price, I might be interested.
hey, you got to sell right there. He's ready to go.
Let's offer. I don't know.
I'm going to take my cut. I want my cut. We're making a deal.
Okay, guys. So we're at right now with the. If you have any questions and comment, if you have any questions about what's going on, please comment right now. And we want to hear it. We've got some more people joining in here. But yeah, if you have any questions about the front beach, you have any questions about the development on Pass Road, because you've been, you got Jeff O'Keefe's wife's. You got a lot of. You're bringing
Hot Works. You got Hot Works in there.
In that development, we have Hot Works going in there. We have Cotton Patch, like a kid's clothing store, and now we just signed a
That's
lease.
Molly.
Yes, and now we just signed a lease with Coast Day Spa. It's going to be a upscale day spa.
Nice.
And then the other building we have, obviously, we have Netties, which is now called Layla's. It's gonna Nezzetti's always been around forever on
good
Courthouse
coffee,
Road.
good paninis.
It's great. So we have them going in there, and next to that is a company called Corked, which is a high-end liquor store I think the guys are out of Atlanta. And then we have that executive office plaza, which is we have I think 23 offices in there, 2 conference rooms, kitchen. I mean, it's really nice. We have probably 13 or 14 already occupied, and it's neat because, like, say you're a small business and you want to only pay $400 a month. It covers, internet, computers.
That's a good
conference
deal.
room,
That's
everything.
awesome, man.
So yeah, we have some great tenants in there already. We have some of Jay Carter's agents rolling in there in the next week or so. So we have some really it's been great.
Well, so that's good for you from you get to make a little money and profit off of your investment and your idea, but you also get to help young businesses at the same time.
Correct. Yeah. So it's kind of like an incubator. It's like a small, but it's been it's going to be it's going to be a win-win for everybody, and it's making Pass Road great again.
Hey, but that thing is, I live in Gulfport,
Right.
so I have to drive. Like, there's that one little like authentic like Mexican spot right there. I think it's Nico's building. And he did the Antique Village.
Yes.
That's one of me and Emily's favorite places. We go by the bakery, but like going by and seeing the development on Pass Road, you're seeing these old buildings. You know that. I mean, they got to fix the roads eventually. Something, but besides the roads, like the development, see these old buildings that's been sitting there. Like one of them was the Drennigan's. The
antique store.
Dude, it was just cluttered. It was like a dusty, cluttered place. You pass by to look abandoned, like, and
it was abandoned.
And now you see all this clean,
the building next to it, and they were getting the building next to it was Pinkston.
Falling apart.
So it was that old music store. Mm-hmm. And I think if you saw before and after pictures of
you
inside and out, it looks like it's completely changed. And now Gulfport's getting higher tax revenue from properties. They're going to get every all the sales tax, everything else. It's a win for the city. I would imagine the city should be extremely happy with what we're doing. I've never heard from them, but I would imagine they should be like, hey, you know what? You're making the city better, whatever.
Yeah, as long as you keep sending them checks.
Right. But we've never heard like, hey guys, thank you for what you're doing. It's more, it's usually, hey, you can't have that little plant by that sidewalk.
You got to have a fire extinguisher pointing
tough.
this way.
It's tough.
With city positions and things like that, like the one thing that when you look at it from, and again, I'm biased because I'm in building and development and all that good stuff, but to plan a city, like you need a really good planner. Like you need to spend money on a planner.
There's no doubt.
Seriously, we got, especially down here, like the coast got wiped out. The one thing that these people should have done was like, look, we need to be pro smart development. Now look, I'm not talking about maximize every dollar for developers and things like that, but you need to look at a city that has basically a blank slate and said, we're going to allow this here, like you said, and allow this here. But I think that the most paid position from my perspective in a city should be the planner who's planning all this stuff and who's looking at all this stuff. Because I got to be honest with you, when you go down there and you talk to a city official, and I'm not going to call the city out, and it's not Ocean Springs, but when I go down there and I talk to a building official and I'm like, hey man, are my permits ready? He's like, well, they're still in planning. And I literally look over here and I'm like, that's planning right there, right?
Exactly.
And they're like, yeah, that's planning. And I'm like, hey, have you looked at my plans? And she's like, oh yeah, I got them right here. And I'm like, okay, she's done. And then I take him and I hand him to him. He's like, yeah, we'll have it ready by tomorrow.
That's typical city employees,
is that not what you do?
Employees, right?
And one thing
DMV, we've all been to the DMV.
Oh yeah. And then
that's how I met Ricky.
Hey, Ricky, I see you're calling. I will call you back. Hey, but one other thing also talking about the cities as a whole is I've never once ever taken a city or credit or asked for a grant or nothing. So I don't even ask for that kind of stuff and do it, which I know there's abilities to do it. We just have never done it just because it takes so long.
Yeah.
And it's just almost not worth it. I'm not going to drag a project around for 2 or 3 years to try to get some government grant.
Yeah, all of a sudden you start to lose money on time.
I'm willing. I know I am personally. I'm willing to spend money to make the areas better and give and bring more tax revenue to the city. I just ask and just wish that the city would understand the business aspect and the mindset of a business owner. To know is, hey, we're doing all this time and effort. Please just work with us and help with us. Yeah. And a lot of times they do, and a lot of times it's great. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you get arguments from someone else, maybe a competitor or someone else.
I'll scratch your back, you
neighbor,
scratch mine.
Possibly.
Little man
neighbor,
syndrome.
Hey, you're gonna scratch my back?
Yeah. Like we had a massive issue, just so you know, we had a massive issue with the Marina Cantina sign that we did in the back. They did not want us to put one up there. They said it wasn't, you weren't allowed to do it. And they said, and we were like, why? They're like, well, you're not allowed to have buildings on. We're like, well, look right across the street. There's the same one on another huge building. And it was a major issue. They rejected us. They want us to use a pole. And finally, we had the right person at the right time to understand this makes no logical sense. Yeah. And that's the same thing he's going through. What he's going through makes no logical sense.
Mike West wants to know what's the plan after the stay is expired.
Okay, so real quick, once the stay is expired, that means I think like the other part of this is when I get curveballs thrown at me, like shrug my shoulders. Nothing surprises me anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that once the stay is lifted, that I'm allowed to build the apartments. So that's why it makes no sense. I'm going out here doing all this stuff, beating the streets, trying to talk to these people, going on podcasts, putting all these things on Facebook, all that stuff.
Raising
awareness just to say, hey, I'm about to build apartments. Because as soon as they let before Lee died, like he gave me the go ahead.
The green light.
If you can convince these folks to do these 41 units, just get it done. But if this goes to the judge and the stay is lifted, he's like, we're maximizing density. So I'm sitting here like, hey guys, this is your last chance, and nobody's listening.
And as an investor standpoint, you want to maximize density. Our density that maximizes your
I don't care, man. And look, I mean, just right now, like, what if I ran out of money? I ran out of money. Well, I got you. Here he comes. You know what I'm saying? Like
money long, pockets long.
I will tell everyone this. Everyone thinks he's bluffing, but I promise you, if he decides to do apartments, I 100% want to be involved. There's so many different reasons financially why I think the location's second to none. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Big Orange says you don't take late fees, though.
Oh, no.
Hey, Orange, shut up, bud. Hey,
I want to take late fees more, and the problem is he never pays them. But anyway, the real big issue we have is I mean, that property is probably the nicest piece on the water.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for
maybe on the
sure.
coast.
Developable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he can do what he's going to do, I think, honestly, long-term value, condos and the tax savings and the advantages, I mean, or apartments, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree.
It is. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like apartments may happen. I mean, if they don't negotiate and they don't understand. And, the guy I was talking to recently, I said was a nice guy, but we just have different perspectives on the situation, was where was I going with this? I think I lost.
We're vibing right now.
Yeah.
I was doing so good too, man.
About the guy that you thought was nice.
Yeah, he's not.
No, I know he's a nice guy, but I totally lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Hey, take a second.
Okay. When you're young, your brain
quits
You got a lot going on right
Well,
now.
no,
Yeah.
Here, I got it back. I just got it back. Y'all be quiet.
Quiet. Hey,
The point is he was making, well, technically this, technically that, technically this, technically. He kept going with all these technical stuff that, well, you did it this way, and it was really supposed to be done this way. And first of all, I said to myself, well, let me tell you something straight up. And this is no BS. If I was in your position, what I would have done is come and talk to me and find out what I was doing. And then I would have left it at that. And I would have said, hey, what about this? What about that? Brought some stuff. But there's no way in heck that I'm ever going to like stop somebody from building on their property. You understand? You have property rights in this country. You should, in this state especially, you should be able to build what's yours on your property. You understand what I mean? But all the technical stuff, well, let's talk about common sense. 41 houses, and call them houses. I don't care. Like I said this before, I don't care what you call them. Call them a house, call them a townhome, call them whatever you want. I don't give a damn. You can call them whatever you want. The bottom line is, you want 41 of them that people own, or you want 61 of them that people rent. I don't care how you get there. I don't care which route you take. I don't care who passes go first. I don't give a damn about any of that. 41 ownership houses, people that own them and live in them, or
people that
61 people that rent. What do you want in your neighborhood? Like that's the bottom line. You can say this, oh, but this happened, but that happened, but this happened. What about this code? The hell with all those codes. The hell with all of them. 41 houses that people live in, or 61 that people rent.
And the funny thing is, in apartments in Mississippi, I'll bet you more people live in an apartment like per cat in a family.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you the average apartment, even though it might be 2-bedroom, might be 7 people living there.
I'll tell you right now.
You're probably right.
And in a house, there's probably 3 or 4.
I bought my first home.
Am I right?
Yeah.
More people live. I mean, just from what my experience is, and I own some townhouses and stuff, when, these apartments are a lot of people or families living in there, 4, 5, 6 people. So, I mean, you're going to have the same, if not more people
and
in a single dwelling.
A lot of them in South Mississippi are assisted.
And they're going to be roommates too, man.
They're not
roommates in apartments.
And not only for that, though, we'll say in apartments, especially in that area, it comes the price. Like, I bought my first home like with nothing. Didn't have a mattress store then. Didn't own a mattress store. Thank you for buying mattresses.
No problem. They're getting delivered tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly, for Kelly. Thank you for buying, shopping local with us. But my mattress store, I didn't have a mattress store at all. I literally bought a house in Gosha, Hickory Hills, because of apartments were actually, for me, at the time, was like more money.
No, there's no question.
And I bought.
Yeah, rent and is way higher than
Yeah.
mortgage.
Most
So I bought
people
a house.
have
Have to do with
apartments
the
because they
rent.
have no credit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're getting the people. Just this whole thing blows my mind because, and not that people that live in apartments are bad. You just typically get a better financial person and a typical better family.
They're going to spend more money in your economy.
in a
Well, think about
single
you when
family
you were
dwelling.
in, like at your young stages. I lived in apartments.
Same with me.
Dude, I had a dump truck parked outside my apartment. I mean, seriously, like I was the only guy with a dump truck in
I
the
mean,
yard.
listen, I might.
I mean-
if I was 22 years old, I want to live there. Have a community pool.
Yeah.
Right on the
All
beach.
young
volleyball,
kids
I'm
on the
playing
beach.
volleyball. Yeah, it's
Those
like,
neighbors would love that.
we couldn't afford to go
sure.
anywhere on the weekends. We
There's-
played volleyball at the
there's-
apartment
there's
complex.
no question.
That's exactly what we did. But I mean, whatever. This has been the most ridiculous experience of my life. I don't know how else to frame it. I can honestly say that I don't believe that I'll ever have a more ridiculous experience. And if I get involved in a more ridiculous experience, I'm going to make sure I have an exit strategy before I get in too deep. You know what I'm saying? It's been crazy. I mean, it's taken up so much of my time. I know you got some say, but like the bottom line is I used to put this on the back burner. I put it on the back burner. People would bring up the sands in my office. I'm like, stop. I'm busy. I'm working.
Yeah.
It's on the back burner. But whenever we finally didn't get this last ruling and we're just kind of like, what's happening here? We said, you know what? We're going to put this on the front burner and I'm going to run with it. And thank God to my superintendent, my business partner, and Joe, who we've got in working for us now. Thank God they're handling a lot of the stuff at work. I'm still handling my stuff, but I'm working on this project. You know what I'm saying?
And one of the things after talking with Mike earlier is one of the reasons why he's doing it is not really even for him. I mean, he's got investors and people that have poured their time, energy, and money in this that he wants to make sure they get whole or make money.
For sure.
You know, and see this and Lee to see this to go for fruition. I mean, they spent 7 years of their life. The last thing you want to see is a project
fall through.
done.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, there's a lot of reason, but the amount of sweat equity that him and his partner and all the partners in there have put into it. I mean, it's completely just like shocking and mind blowing to me that anybody, I don't even understand how anybody would want to have apartments over the single family dwelling. Makes no sense.
It doesn't. And my thing that I was so look, I'll tell you right now, Butler's my friend, and I'm the one that engaged him when he brought me to all his custom homes guys in downtown Oak Springs. He's proud of it, wants to show me what he's doing because we want to do a little marketing with us, and so when we were doing this properties, we brought me to the sands. Well, I walked the sands, the two buildings that are there. One's his, one's Lee's. It was Lee's home. Man, I wish Lee was here, but like that was his home. It's beautiful. So I walked that, and I looked there and said, "Hey, man, why don't you hop on the podcast and just kind of tell your story?"
Yeah.
And the thing is that I want you to tell people, and you've told me this, and thing is, the neighbors when you're having your baby girl, you went, you were doing fraternity, doing pictures, the baby pictures, and you held that up because you sat in your truck trying to have a conversation with the neighbor.
Yeah.
And in a couple hours, you sat there and waited. You had to wait to have a conversation with him, and it went nowhere.
Mike West wants to know how much it costs to buy the neighbors out. And he said he's going to start a GoFundMe and everybody's just going to fund it out. And then he wants to know the number.
Man, I have to do some serious. I got to talk to Josh Workman about that.
Oren says
go.
Butler apartments sound good. And he said he wants a little
But
market and deli bagel right in there too. And then Doc Chico or Doc Chiro, you know him. He says he hired you twice to build, and he would hire you 1,000 more times. So
That's
the
awesome,
compliments are rolling in,
That's
man.
great, bro. I appreciate
I think Doc, that must be Jeremy.
that. Cairo.
Yeah.
that is
Chiro.
that's
Shout out
let's
to
face it.
Jeremy Jernigan.
and that's he's doing a lot of good positive things on the coast.
Yeah, he's I mean, his facility, went from Debees to where he's at now, and he's probably the hottest, if definitely the hottest, I would imagine, chiropractor on the coast, and his facility is second to none. So if no one has seen his facility, you need to check it
He's
out.
good. I go
It's
there.
beautiful.
I go there once, twice a month. But
Yes.
yeah. So to answer your question, yes, I sat on the back of my truck and waited for this guy to finish his conversation, and my wife was sitting there at the harbor with her mom, like with a camera to take pictures to announce the pregnancy of our baby girl, and our baby girl's now 2.5 months old. Her birthday's September 23rd. So she's 2.5 months, 2.5 years old, September 23rd. So I mean, that's how long ago this was. And I talked to this guy and I literally pointed. I said, look over there, man. I said, look over there. Like, do you want to see, like, do you want to be able to see the cars under there? Or do you want it to look like a beautiful 3-story building that, you know, with all this beautiful landscape? Because if I have to do apartments, I can't afford to close in the bottoms. Like, I can't do all that stuff, man. I'm still going to make them nice. And that's what Lee always said. We're still going to make them nice, Mike. And I'm like, we're going to make them luxurious apartments. We're going to make them nice. But you think they're going to be as nice as a $1.3 million house?
Absolutely not.
You know, that's not, I mean, they're going to be nice. We're going to make them as nice as we can be. I mean, I'm not a malicious person. I mean, even to this day, these people, I try, and again, I try as hard as I can to be like, man, you know, don't hate these people. Don't hate. You know, I try to take the high road. It's very difficult. Sometimes I get caught up in it. You know how it is, man.
Don't let things rob your joy, bro.
Yeah.
That's my motto. Don't let it rob your joy.
We're dudes. Well, recently, man, I'll be honest with y'all. Recently, it's been tough. Recently it's been tough. You know, we lost Lee, and then it's been a lot going on with this stuff. So it's been a little bit overwhelming. But you know, I'm the kind of guy, like I might get knocked down a couple notches, like we all do.
Get right back up.
You got knocked down, but you know what? You came back strong as shit, didn't you?
That was my goal. I was like, listen,
Adversity, man.
Doesn't matter.
You're only as tough as when you're at your lowest point in your life.
That's
you know,
right.
when you're at your lowest, it makes you tougher. And I told Mike, I'm like, this is going to make him tougher. He's going to be more successful now going through this than he would have ever been in his life.
There's
It's true. I see it too.
There's no question. I mean, look how motivated. So when I first met him, he was like burly, huge, you know, he had a huge, he was just dating his wife at the time. And, you know, and look at him now. I mean, you know, as a father and very successful business. And, you know,
Donnie Handler says, get that shit done in OS. So
Yeah.
he's wanting you to put trains and all
I think everybody wants that to get done.
No, it'll get done, man. And I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. It has been, you know, trying, like I said, at times. But at the end of the day, like I've told these guys, I've looked them dead in their eye. I have not changed my attitude at all since the beginning. I sat in a meeting with the mayor and the city people and all this stuff. It was a closed door meeting. And I don't know, there was 10 or 12 guys, the lawyers, Robert was there. Mark was, Kraus was there. Everybody's there. We got a planner there. Donovan's there. And I'm sitting there. I look across at the table with this guy, Michael, on. I said, look, man, I said, I'm young. I was 35 at the time, maybe 36. I don't know. And I said, it's going to take me one extra house a year to pay my attorneys. One extra house a year. I just got to work a little harder to pay my attorneys. And you're retired. And I'm not ever going to stop. Like, these people can look at me. I won't quit, man. I will not quit. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to fight them forever. I got a little down today, you know, after a meeting and all that good stuff. I was like, damn, man, you know, it's just tough. But guess what? You get that energy right back and you get back up and you keep going.
That's
man.
life.
And listen, the one big thing is, and I learned after, you know, my headaches is you're doing the right thing. Okay. What you want. So you got to know, like, you know, and talk about giving. I mean, obviously now I'm all about, like, I'll do anything I can to try to help somebody out. Whatever it is, if there's a cause, I'm always there to try to help. But when I see something wrong, you know, which I think what's going on with the Sands is completely crazy, but you're doing the right thing. You're going after, and not only that, but even after all these times you've been hit down, you're still trying to do what's right for Ocean Springs.
Yeah,
and that's what I really, truly don't get. I would love to talk to the neighbor.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
me too. I felt like that.
Seriously, I would love to maybe mediate with the mater and say, hey, listen, I mean, because I don't understand. I can't conceptually. I'm a business guy, and I've done a lot of good businesses, and, you know, I've had some failures, and that's just the nature of business. But I don't understand, looking at it as an outside party, not involved in it, what he can think of having an apartments would be better than what he's going for. I just don't see it whatsoever. So, I mean, if the neighbor would love to call me
or come on the podcast, it's an open invite. Come on here.
Reach out to me. I'd love to hear it, because I can't get my arms around it.
Let me say one more. You got something?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No.
So there's a couple pages in Ocean Springs. And again, I'm not trying to bully or pick on anybody, but there's a couple pages in Ocean Springs. And I think Oren is actually the bagel guy.
He started the new Informed.
The new Be Informed. So there was a page in Ocean Springs that I tried to get on, and it was called Be Informed Ocean Springs. And it's run by this Julia Alon, who's the neighbor that's opposing, but on Facebook, she's Julia Teresa Ryan. Okay. So
She's got an alias.
So yeah, she's got an alias.
Smart.
So I tried to get on. I was like, look, I want to get on this page because I want to just tell my story, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I just want to say, hey, there's another side.
Right.
Well, when I started telling the story, people were like, wait a minute, what? they didn't know. Like I didn't know how many people didn't know. Like I mean I live it. So like obviously they don't know what the heck's going on. So the citizens of Ocean Springs created another page. I think I invited you to it. Yeah, it's called.
I'm on it.
It's called Ocean. What is it called? It's called
No
Be
Hidden
Informed
Agendas.
Ocean Springs. No hidden agendas. So it's the same name, but they switched up Be Informed in Ocean Springs, and it says no hidden agendas. So she'll come on and listen. I'm not saying this to to knock her down or whatever, but she'll come on and she'll post comments, and then she'll delete them immediately. She had a comment going the other day that said, hey, they had like 47 comments. I mean, this thing was hitting, you know? And I commented on there. I said, look, would you mind letting me on your page so I could tell my side of the story without, just, and I'll promise to be respectful.
Correct.
And I said, you're welcome on this page. Please tell your side of the story. You're welcome here. Everybody's welcome on this page. So what does that tell you? When people try to control the narrative.
Aren't you paying attention to what's going on in the world today? You're not allowed to speak your mind.
I know.
Why don't you guys have an open forum, invite you and her? Okay.
We'll mediate it. We'll mediate it.
No, with the city
Double
of
clap, double
Ocean
clap.
Springs.
It's a double clap, right? It's a double clap.
You can have the whole community go there, the city of Ocean Springs, and kind of hash it out. I mean, because
they won't do it.
It just does.
They will not do it.
To me, I still just can't get my arms around it.
Ivan, I saw him the other day. I was jogging. Okay, I jog occasionally. I got to jog occasionally. But look. So I was jogging and I saw him and I stopped, and the guy was trying as hard as he could to get away from me. And I was like, listen, man, I said, let's fix this.
Start jogging faster.
No, I was like, let's fix this, man. I said, how long are we going to do this, Mike? And he said, he's like, let's just let the courts handle it. I said, if we let the courts handle it, if it gets to that point, I'm 100% maximizing density. That's my goal. Like if you talk to me now before it goes to the courts, then I'll do this beautiful development.
They think you're bluffing.
That's all it can be.
That's what it is. They're thinking you're bluffing. It's kind of like, one of the things, if you look at big companies, why they crush small companies is they have the power to do it.
Well, that's the deal.
Yeah.
He worked for a huge company.
Right. And he thinks he's got the power to do it. And and you see that every day, all day in business. The guy that has the bigger wallet tries to beat up on the guy that doesn't.
But he picked his fight with the little guy that's just too stupid to quit.
A little scrappy.
Yes. I mean, that's it, man.
And listen, you got huge supporters and huge. I mean, there's a lot of guys that if you need to, a lot of guys, if you want, that are like guys like me, and I know several others that will come in and say, hey, you know what? If you need help, financial support, finish this off. We'll do it with you. So if the fight needs to fight on, let's fight.
How awesome, dude! Ivan's
toe to toe.
Ivan's dope.
I'm glad you guys are our friends.
I think it's right and wrong. I mean, you get to a point. I mean, as everyone knows, I've been through some tough times. There's things that are right and there's wrong in the world. And if you want to build something for best use and only help a community, it makes no sense not to be done.
I mean, my family raised me on some pretty good morals, and I like to think they told me as long as you feel like you're doing the right thing,
that's it, dude.
Go for it.
You know what?
And be passionate about it. And very seldomly do I feel like I'm not doing the right thing.
That's good.
But I mean, I've grown out of that stage. I meant to say. Anyway, but no, I mean, you're passionate about this. You're here. We're raising awareness for it. It is the right thing ultimately. So yeah, I think it's time for a sit down or some kind of progression to be made. True. Because a standstill is not doing anybody any good.
Dude, we've done it. That's the thing. That's like I get these like, hey, why don't you do this? Oren, the bagel guy, man. He says, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? He sells great bagels. I buy bagels from him twice a week at least. But look, he was there the first time I went in, but I hadn't seen him. Where you at, Oren? But
he's in here.
But anyway,
shout out Oren.
He's playing with his rooster.
What's his little deli?
I won't say what we all call it, but he's playing with his little rooster.
That mindset, like do the right thing. Life is short. I mean, that's what matters. I got to be honest with you, man. Recently, like I told you, the whole charity thing, and then Lee passing away, and this whole thing coming to a head has changed my mindset on life. Like when I first started my business, I felt like I had the right mindset. Like I used to not go on fishing trips. People would call me, hey, come fishing. I'm too busy. Come fishing. I'm too busy. Now, you know what? I'm going fishing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going on vacation. Like that's what I'm doing. And you know what? My clients that I work for respect that.
They respect you.
Yeah. And they're like, you got to do that. And you need that. And when my superintendent goes on vacation, I say, Matt, don't
enjoy
answer
yourself.
your phone. Like hang it up. What can I do for you when you're gone? Because when I'm gone, don't call me. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, man. So like do your thing. Be honest, do the best you can for people. I mean, life is so simple. We make it hard. It's not that hard. And when you go through certain things in your life, you realize that. And it's a blessing that we go through those things to kind of bring us back to reality.
Yeah.
No
You
question.
understand what I'm saying? So
on the
I mean-
charity thing though, like, and I have to bring this up because I didn't get into the charity thing. It was John Carter. John Carter reached out to me and said, "Hey, buddy," he's like, you know, well, I mean, we're wild boys. He goes, "Hey, buddy," he goes, "I want you to be next to me and let's just at least once a year."
Right. I was there when you wore that dress. That one thing.
Yeah, you were. He's been there the whole time, but it's like,
So we did a real man.
You gonna wear one?
No, I'm not. I mean,
Come on, man. I'll do it if you do it.
Listen, I've been through. I don't know if me wearing a dress. That's what I've been through. I don't know if I'm.
It started as a kind of like a joke, but like what us doing like the pink dress run and stuff. But the fact that John reached,
How about a jumpsuit?
Yeah, exactly. A jumpsuit better.
but he always he had this one thing and it's always stuck in my head. And this is why I raised money. This is why I'm on his side. And we'll never talk about like being the co-founder. He's always like, "Brad, you need to say somebody like you're the co-founder." He's always he talks highly of me all the time.
Right.
But the thing is like, "But we are wild." He goes, "But what if we get together and raise money?" And that was his initiative. Because he lost his friend, and we just it kind of resonated with me like the way it resonated with you. It's like, hey, let's do it, and look at us now. Look at what we're doing now, and I'm telling you, get behind it. Ivan gets behind it. Ivan's a sponsor. Like Ivan's a sponsor. He's backed us no matter what.
Dude,
Every year,
whatever you guys do, man. Whatever you guys do, I'm in, man. 100%. Like I had a girl the other day that she's like, "Hey, we got the military guys coming back. We're gonna have a party for them at the VFW." And I said, "Sure, I'll buy all the beer." Like I mean, that's little, right? But I mean, you know what? Let's appreciate
those
that.
little things make a big difference.
Yeah, it really does make a big difference.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Whatever I can do to help, and sometimes I'd like to donate more time. That's another thing I want to teach my kids, man. I want to donate more time. Right now, I'm very busy, so I can donate a little bit financially. I can't donate a whole bunch, but I'll do what I can. But part of it is you got to put the time in. Like y'all put the time in for that pink dress run and all that good stuff. And
it's sexy.
But you know what? It's fun time too, though. Man. It's fun. Like you can have a good time and you can raise money for charity.
And what John's done with Real Men Wear Pink, I mean, is incredibly impressive. And both you guys.
We did that, and they gave us a window. But we actually moved to and now John's sitting on the board from it. And now it's the first time, but Memorial Foundation. Go Memorial. So all our money goes now. I think we did like $27,000 this year. Liz Galkey is our director. So now it's me and John, and then we have Alicia. We have a group of people, but like John, we figured that we wanted to have a director, a mom. We call her. She's our mom. Yeah. But we were able to raise $20,000+ in a one-day event to our local Gulf where I live, the city I live. Like there's like breast cancer survivors, and Matt's part of this too. But like the breast cancer survivors. Like in our community, our money goes to them. Yeah, there's no skip nothing.
It's wonderful.
That's the way it should be, man. That's the way.
And thank you, John, man, for shining a light on me. Like I really appreciate that, buddy.
Well, there you go. You paid it forward, man. You know what I mean?
And we keep doing it, and you're doing it. You're part of it. You're with us. Your money goes with that. Yeah. But the thing is that I have to really express is it's kind of crazy that we're having this hour-long conversation of the fact that you want to build beautiful things.
Hour and a half.
Yeah,
I was getting hungry.
Yeah.
I'm like 30 minutes.
All right, well, guys, we got let's finalize the comments. You got any comments? Hit us right now. We got a couple more minutes.
Oren says he loves y'all, all of us.
Yeah,
we love
so
you too,
so we're gonna give you a good minute to
everybody.
put a comment in, and then we'll answer the comments, and then we're heading out, boys. We've had a great night.
Been very productive, I think.
Are y'all cool with waiting on the comments?
Yeah, sure. And listen, I would 100%. Hopefully Mike gets more of this resolved. I'd love to get back on with him anytime he wants. But I have
a feeling we're not done with it.
I would 100%. I hope this all gets resolved. I hope the people and the government and the whoever needs to be involved, the mayor, the aldermans, they all back him up because I think it's the
cheers.
Well, guys,
cheers. I'm drinking my water. Cheers.
Nothing.
All right, looks like that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all check out us again on the next episode of Jordan and Matthew. Until then,
appreciate it, guys.
Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us, man. You're awesome.
No, it was good. I wanted to,
dude. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
I got the yellow ribbon. So, it's okay. How many times did you sit back just relaxing?